Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Get On My Level Thursday Night Preview Show. I'm your host, your commissioner, and the standalone guest for this evening, Garrett Ruggieri. Thank you all for joining me. I look forward to a wonderful night of football. It's been a long 4-day stretch without it. So should be really exciting. I hope nobody croaks and dies tonight because we are featuring two geriatric quarterbacks. Should be pretty fun. Hopefully they both make it through the game. Neither defense is like too threatening. I know the Steelers have a lot of star power, but they haven't exactly been the steel curtain of old. So we'll see how that unfolds with Joe Flacco showing up for Cincinnati and Aaron Rodgers, being the Steelers' 2025 season savior. As they have done in recent history by going quarterback to quarterback to quarterback. Our theme of the evening, of course, is with age. So I have prepared out of our lovely draft shot box from our very own draft mom, Lori Ruggieri, the oldest beer that I have in my fridge. Not by length of time it's been in the fridge, but by its established date in honor of Flacco and Rodgers. The Heineken Original, established 1873. Beautiful sound. And what better way to enjoy an ice cold chili boy than to talk football and drink out of our very own patented GOML pint glasses. So if you're out there, if you're watching, cheers to you. Thanks for being a part of this. And I hope you guys are near or with me at the end, because I'm starting a hot streak. Sins, that's especially meant for you. Because I'm coming for you, and I wish you the best, man. Did just make some moves right before I started this show, dropping Trevor Lawrence, picking up CJ Stroud. I had a feeling that was coming, and you did end up putting in Matt Gay for the Washington Commanders against the Cowboys at kicker, because you're dealing with a couple bye week situations, some injury stuff at quarterback, all that nonsense. But we'll get into the matchups later. It's going to be a quick show tonight, I promise. I don't have too much lined up. Just a couple of news and nuggets that I've found throughout the week. As I mentioned before, Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers. Battle of the old, the Graybeards. Second oldest quarterback matchup ever, all time. Number one, 2022, Breeze and Brady. So pretty staggering numbers there. They've just been slinging it for a long time. Joe Flacco's kind of been all over the place, but Rodgers with the three teams should be interesting. As we said before, neither team really has too much going on. Maybe the Bengals will hold out for Burrow, maybe not, but we'll see. Doesn't look great. Brings me to my next little nugget. Thought might be interesting for you to know. I'm sure if you've been on social media, you've seen some of these come around, or if you listen to radio shows. But Joe Flacco, since his transition to all these teams, has been brought up in conversation for throwing 67 touchdown passes to, or 67 different players he's thrown touchdown passes to in his career, which slots him in 4th all time. So I kind of found it intriguing. To nobody's surprise, the two elder quarterbacks in the game, Breeze and Brady, are coming in at number one. Brady has 98, and I did look through the list of players. I would love to hear from King and Rito. I was a little disappointed in my ball knowledge. I was about like 50%, maybe 60%. I'd give myself 2/3 if I was like feeling good. But I was looking at some of those names, and man, they go way back. So Brady with 98, Breeze with 73 different players. And what stands out to me with these two guys is that, they really did it with two teams. That being the Bucks and the Patriots, of course, and then Breeze with the Chargers and the Saints. The rest of the guys on the list, including Flacco, is Vinny Testaverde with 70 and Ryan Fitzpatrick with 62, who kind of jumped around, bounced around the league. And then provided with factual evidence from the Rock Dog, because he was back there, back in maybe 1873, when Steve DeBerg was slinging it with 62 different touchdown passes to different receivers during his career. So found that pretty interesting. Rock Dog said he was a bad man. Met up with him and Lori for lunch today because I was down that way. And we had a nice little chat. It was pretty fun to think about. Rock Dog and I were trying to come up with anyone who has thrown touchdown passes to the same guy on multiple teams. And we couldn't get past Brady and Gronk and, all of Brady's connections. So like Antonio Brown would be on there too. And then the only other one I came up with was Rodgers and Devontae Adams and maybe Rodgers and Cobb. But we couldn't get the trifecta. We couldn't figure out like a different stat. So if you have one, let us know. Also, a friendly reminder, the Eagles have 2 straight losses. And there have been some rumor mill swirling around the league. Some wide receivers on the trade block. A.J. Brown could be moving, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen Waddle, Miami may be fire sailing this thing. And then Calvin Ridley has been brought up in trade negotiations, but there have been no takers. So I'm not so sure really how much of a negotiation that is. But just throwing that out there because it does have fantasy relevance. I think especially the Waddle and Brown one. Mostly because they're on the same team, with the Larcino men. So keep your eyes on that. That could definitely shake things up. I remember back in the day, we had a Trent Richardson play by Mouse Cop. I think it was an early draft pick in our fantasy draft. And, he got shipped over to the Colts. Everybody thought this was like the best thing ever, getting out of Cleveland, maybe they're going to use the guy. Fell off the face of the earth, like didn't exist anymore, forgot how to play football. So that was kind of a shame, but also really funny to go down in the GOML lore. And one more stat, it was a quarterback one that I kind of jumped over before. Cleveland versus Miami this weekend, Dylan Gabriel versus Tua Tagovailoa. The first dual lefty quarterback battle in 19 years. So 2 lefties going head to head has not happened in almost 20 years. And the last time it happened was at Falcons Vic versus Chris Sims, who I believe was a Buccaneer. So interdivisional, so maybe it happened more than once, I'm not really sure. But honestly, I don't really know that much about Chris Sims. He's certainly less interesting than Michael Vick. But just a couple of news and nuggets for you. Now we get down to the nitty gritty. Who is going to win this week and who is going to change their pole position for this glorious trophy for the Get On My Level Fantasy Football League Championship of 2025? Larcino men versus Kent Touch This. Lots of moves and action happening in this game. The Larcino men dealing with some injuries. Puka Nacua, question marks surrounding Chuba Hubbard with his playing time as Rico Dowdle has went on a tear. Some people call that a revenge tour, but Dallas defense can't stop a nosebleed, so it really doesn't matter. Travion Henderson might be one of the worst draft picks ever, right up there with Chase Brown, so I'm not just singling you out. Although, no, I shouldn't even say worst draft pick. I just like high, because for whatever reason, Mike Vrabel doesn't think he can play. And then on Kent's side, just dealing with the bye weeks, right? Derrick Henry out, Jerry Jeudy questionable, Dalton Kincaid on the bye, which those Bills buys are going to come into play here in the next matchup as well. A lot of green check marks favoring Rito Larcino in this one. Current projections are at 124 to 121. I think just given the situation, maybe Kent sneaks one out here. I mean, having having Jackson Smith and Jigba, the number 2 receiver on the season, in your flex spot is kind of a cold play. Like, that's kind of a flex on Griffey. But as we've seen, I mean, Reed has been able to pop off at a moment's notice. So, I mean, Baker Mayfield against Detroit, that could be, I bet you the over-under on that game is like 52.5 or something. It's got to be high. It's got to be really high. And Jonathan Taylor will continue to do his thing. And Rachaad White has filled in nicely for Bucky Irving during his absence. I don't even really want to pick this game, but shoot, between our league's 2 top scorers, Kent Griffith and Reed Larson, now that we have 6 weeks of stats here to go behind, I kind of want to take the averages, but no Puka. I don't love that. I might be leaning toward Kent touch this, but I think Rito's going to find a way to make it out. Mouse Cop versus Archibald Karcher, America's team. I do believe this one has been a little bit of a laughingstock in the group chat as of late. Archie kind of clowning on himself. Mouse Cop certainly giving in to the memes and the gifs. 0-6. Maybe we should get you a little trophy. You know, like not an undefeated, but like an only defeated trophy. That would be fun. And Archie, long way to go. We got a lot of season to play. There is only green check marks on Archie's preview. So he is projected to outscore Cop in every single slot, 9 for 9. And with that, and the return of Rashee Rice, and Patrick Mahomes absolutely being on a tear, I'm going to rock with that guy. Mouse Cop falls to 0-7. Big football guy versus all the Kings men. This one could shake up our standings in the Vets division. Also, big shout out to my Vets. Your president thanks you for your wonderful Week 6 performance. However, it seems to be we're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot with this one. One of you is going to win, one of you is going to lose. That's just how the game goes, I guess. Jaden Daniels against Dallas. Don't love that matchup for big football guy. Although Dak could go toe-to-toe with that. I mean, we're going to have to try and keep up. Jalen Warren's playing tonight. Currently, Chase Brown is on his bench, so he doesn't have any Thursday night players, that being big football guy. He has slotted in Jordan Addison in his flex post our trade last week. And it seems to be that, yeah, all the Kings men's dealing with a heavy bye week schedule. Matt Prater, kicker, James Cook, number 6 running back in the season, and Zay Flowers, very, very serviceable wide receiver, all on bye. So James maybe has some work to do. Calvin Ridley, not guaranteed to play this week. And as we said before, trying to get shopped. It seems like Tennessee is maybe not in the position to go for the glory, if you will, this season, as we just realized that they have fired their head coach. And I think that's the 3 straight rookie quarterbacks or number 1 overall picks where the head coach has been fired. That's Bryce Young and Frank Reich. Even Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer happened to him. And then last year, Eberflus and Caleb Williams. Why Jerry Jones thought it was a good idea to hire that guy is beyond me. But they say you don't make it to 83 years old sane, so good for him, I guess. I'm going to have to ride with... I don't like either of these matchups for the singular players. But CeeDee Lamb coming back, I bet you that's a big game for big football guy. I'm taking my guy, Ben Campbell. Up next, on a historic run, the Johnny Rock Dog has crawled his way to 2-4. I mean, it was on the notes on our original draft thing, and I know I've mentioned it before, and I'm going to say it again. The dude is always in the fight. He never, ever, ever is counted out. I mean, that's why he's Johnny motherfucking Rock Dog, baby. But Staley's smart team is no slouch. I mean, he's smart. He's dealing with some buys this week, but he is smart. And I know he kept that team name kind of as a joke, but picked up Aaron Rodgers in lieu of Josh Allen's bye. He's going to shred Cincinnati's defense. I don't love playing Thursday night, guys, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It can only go up from there. DeAndre Swift against New Orleans. That's going to be a windy game. I don't know if you can see on the fantasy app, they have the little wind icon next to the players. But they should probably keep the ball on the ground. And after his stellar game-saving performance last week, a 55-yard touchdown through the air to beat Kent Griffith, maybe he rides the high and they just keep feeding the hot hand. Interesting play with Tajay Spears, splitting carries with Tony Pollard in Tennessee. But Brian Thomas Jr. and Jamar Chase seem to be getting way back on track. Tyler Warren and Harold Fannin in his flex, the double tight end play. That's what I'm viewing. Good for you. I like that. I love the Rock Dog. I just don't see. I could see Jefferson getting a couple tutties against Philly. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, the Eagles have 2 straight losses, and yeah, Jefferson could pop off. I still just have a hard time with all the Packers in one game. You know, you're going to Arizona. Jacoby Brissett just put up a fight against Indianapolis last week. That could be a tough matchup. Their defense isn't like anything majorly to be afraid of, but just putting all your eggs in one basket is not the easiest thing to bank on. So against my better judgment, I'm taking the Rock Dog to catch Staley hindered on his bye weeks. So those are my picks as of so far. I've got the Larcino Men, America's Team, Big Football Guy, and Johnny Rock Dog. Which brings us to our final matchup of the week. The Junk Hunk versus Matty Sins, not gonna have that. Both 3-3. Some came out of the gates faster than the other. Sins was high and flying early. I have since put myself in position, only a game back in the division, to take a stronghold for the vets. Pickens, been on a tear. George Kittle, coming back. Tyrone McMillan found the end zone. Bijan freaking Robinson. No adjective needed. I mean, Quinshon Judkins is going to get back on track. Miami has given up 128 yards on the ground to opposing running backs. I'm feeling good about where I'm at. Patriots defense, Mike Vrabel laid the hammer on Tennessee and whomever they're upgrading to interim head coach. But it's not to be taken lightly. Matty Sin's not going to have that. He's got great players. I mean, he's got Breece Hall against Carolina. Ladd McConkey got back on track last week. Roma Dunze is going to cancel out some Caleb Williams points. But y'all know me, man. I can't pick against myself. I'm going in here and I'm winning the damn thing. I'm going to 4-3. Sins. Woo. The slide continues. That's enough said, man. I'm going for gold. I'm swinging. I'm going. I want to win. And I'm rocking double tight end as well. Shout out to you, Staley. George Kittle, Tucker Kraft. I like to say that Kraft mac and cheese is the only type of cheese I can have is Tucker Kraft. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. GOML is in full. I mean, we are just firing. It's happening. We are in the meat of the season. This is where trends start to come true. I don't know how often you guys peek at the standings and like all the advanced metrics that they have in there. You can do your own and figure them out. Cop graciously keeps hella stats for the whole season. Because it's a new year, we don't have that much data yet, but come the end of the season and into the bulk of the season, we'll have way more information and kind of break down who's who, what happened, and why. So just a couple of things right off the rip. Big Football Guy had a couple of down weeks. He's somehow 3-3 with only scoring 600 points. It basically averaged 100 points a week. No one else is that close with that kind of record. Like you got Archie scoring 667, almost 2/3 of a game higher than Big Football Guy, but he has one less loss, or sorry, one more loss. Things like that. Like, I mean, Mouse Cop is kind of unexplainable. He's just run into a gauntlet against everyone who's played. 796 points against. As opposed to Kent Touch This, 592 points against. I mean, that's not even comparable. I mean, that's 2 games. That's 2 whole games back. So, feel bad for Cop. I'm only going to say that on the video so it's recorded, and you can use this in the court of law. Feel bad for you, Cop. But that's fine. He's going to come over here later. We're going to watch the game. He's going to drink my beer. We're going to have a good time. We'll talk it out. And hopefully everybody will get off to a hot start. Hopefully everybody enjoys the geriatric game. I forget what they're calling it. The Gray Bowl, maybe? Something. They call it something funny like that because everyone's so old. And shoot, maybe we'll all be wrong. Maybe they're just going to throw the ball 40 or run the ball 40 times a piece. So they don't tire out their old arms after a short week. But guys, gals, thanks for joining us. It's been fun. It's been real. If anybody wants to be a guest host next week, or if any of you want to do your own video, let me know. Send it, shoot it. We'll get it done. It'll be fun. And this marks the halfway point of the regular season. So after this week, we'll have something big coming to break down the first half of the revitalization of GOML. Cheers, friends, family, football. That's what it's all about. I love you. I miss you. Go Cowboys.